And hello, this is Indy 1023. How is everyone doing today? It's a chilly November afternoon here in Denver. Thanks for joining us via wherever you are. Welcome to the Local 303 Meetup. My name is Alicia Sweeney. I curate the Local 303, and this is our monthly get-together to hang out with our current artists of the month. We're sponsored by Elevated Independent Energy. Shout out to them. And here's how it works. Over the next hour or less, we chat with 10 of the 12 bands that are able to join us for the Local 303 this month. We're also throwing in a couple live performances from ZEMBU and Heavy Diamond Ring. They're both going to be performing. And well, we're live streaming from indy1023.org. If you do want to ask any questions for those watching at home, click on it and the live stream will take you to YouTube and you can ask questions over there. We're live, we're on Zoom, things may glitch. That's just life right now. And I want to say hello to my co-host, Jeremy Peterson. Hello.
Hello, Alicia. Hello, everybody.
What's new?
Oh, what's new? I've been waiting for, there's a lot of new music, a lot of new music discoveries this month, as always, with the Local 303. I'm excited to get to some stories here today behind the music and the people.
Me too. What is it, like season 18 of quarantine? Is that what we're on right now?
Seems like it. I'm glad that we didn't go with the original idea of doing this in a park outside, right? We should. I'm trying to imagine like looking here in the screen and we're all around a fire, right? Doesn't that seem appropriate for today?
It does seem appropriate.
A campfire chat.
A virtual campfire chat. So before we start, and here's how it works, you and I take turns interviewing bands. And we're going to start out with a musician who just put out her debut single, Sidney Clapp. But before we start, I want to bring up something because I've got a little Thanksgiving wishbone to pick with you. You messaged me earlier today saying that pumpkin pie is very divisive. And I know where I stand on this Thanksgiving staple, but I want to ask you, yay or nay on pumpkin pie?
Well, I'm solidly a nay on the pumpkin pie. I don't know if that makes me un-American or what, but nay on the pumpkin pie. I hope everybody has an answer prepared because we're going to be asking you about your own. What camp do you fall down in on the pumpkin pie debate of 2020?
Yeah. Well, what about you? Okay, how about pecan pie?
No.
Apple?
No.
Minced meat?
Absolutely not.
Chicken pot pie?
Pretty much a chocolate pie person. Maybe some key lime.
Bye-bye, Miss American Pie. I always try to make Jeremy laugh before he has to do something important, like start interviewing bands. Let's just pop into it now. Let's start. You get to kick it off.
Yes, Sidney Clapp released her debut single earlier this year, The Denver Artist. Thanks so much for being here, Sidney.
Thanks for having me.
So just according to the bio that you wrote for us, this is not something you're necessarily new to. It's more about sharing it with the world. That's the new part.
Yeah. I've just been creating for like 6 years, kind of alone, just discovering what that connection was for me to songwriting. And then I finally had enough material to put together an EP, and I kind of sat on it for a long time because I just wanted to keep creating in my basement. But now I released one, and it was beautiful. And
It is beautiful. We're happy to be playing Golden Air. That's the title of the song. And as beautiful as the song is, the video is really stunning too, with modern dance, among other elements in it. Talk a little bit about that, what went into making that video.
Yeah. So I had a friend from high school, and we both grew up originally in rural Nebraska, and we were both kind of the two creative weird kids in the whole like 50-mile radius of where we lived. So she found me when I was that age, and we took some photos together. And then fast forward 10 years, she is doing video work. And so she came out to Colorado, and we had some modern dancers, and I just had some of my best friends create it with me. And it was just, it was a great experience.
So it came out amazingly. Yeah, people can see that on the Local 303 page now at indy1023.org. So that song is very much, I want to say it's kind of almost in dream pop territory. But
pop, is that what you said?
Dream pop, almost, is what I would say. However, there's a completely different flavor. I haven't heard your version of John Hartford's Tear Down the Grand Old Opry, but you did a version of that, you said, and it appeared on a compilation. Talk a little bit about that and where you are musically. Dream pop to John Hartford.
Yeah, it's weird. That feels like my life, though, like all over the place. The John Hartford thing was really exciting to be a part of and to get into the studio to record. So the producer of my EP, Greg Garrison, he plays in Leftover Salmon, and he asked me to just go sing with him in the studio. And so we were just singing a song for his solo record, and turns out it was that John Hartford cover, which is very jamgrassy. So that was an accidental thing that happened. I mean, jamgrass is great, but it's not the music I'm creating. But it was just an accidental thing that happened, and I was happy to be a part of it. That was really neat. So yeah.
So pretty exciting year for you personally and creatively, I would imagine. Do you have any tips for staying optimistic where we are right now in 2020 and beyond?
Oh boy. I think creating is so helpful. I think if everyone locked themselves in a room to create something for an hour a day, I think the world would be probably a much lighter place. So that helps me. That's what I do. It's kind of how I get everything out. So maybe that, but I don't know. It's been helping me. So.
Well, Sidney Clapp, the debut single we are hearing on the air right now is Golden Air, and from the sounds of things, there's more to come. An EP coming next year, right?
Yep.
Very good. Well, okay, I have to ask you on the pumpkin pie debate. Where are you?
Pumpkin pie. So what's the debate? Is it
just simply a yay or nay? Yeah.
Oh, okay. I would say yay most of the time, but it really depends on the crust for me.
Oh.
It has to be like Crisco crust, like really kind of an unhealthy crust. That's my favorite.
Very good. Sidney Clapp, thank you.
You.
We've got more Local 303 artists coming up. Alicia, who's next?
We got Nat Tate. Hi, Nat.
Hi, Alicia.
I miss you. How are you?
I miss you too. I'm good. Yeah, it feels good to be back with you, back on the scene.
I know. For those new to Indie 1023, Nat is an artist that we've championed for so many years with different projects, and you've been by our studio a handful of times, but now the studio just doesn't exist. But I'm glad that we have this platform so that we can share this new music with our listeners. Before we get started, what's your hot take on pumpkin pie?
Oh, I'm so glad you've asked.
Yes.
I'm a huge yay. And usually I would never be willing to add anything to a pumpkin pie, but my love just asked me to make a chocolate pumpkin pie. So that's her favorite. So I did it and it was amazing. So I don't know, Jeremy, if you said chocolate pie, so maybe you could try it, but anyway, major yay.
Okay. Me too. Congrats on the new album, Songs for the Trees. And in your bio about it, you said that this reflects a time of growth and healing, taking time away from performing. So did this start pre-COVID, the writing process?
Yeah, it started well before COVID. Let's see, maybe a year. I took quite a bit of space just from music and songwriting in general. I kind of had found myself in this place where I wasn't totally enjoying it after releasing my last album. And this was sort of my process of reconnecting just with my pure enjoyment of it. And so I probably had maybe 6 out of the 8 songs ready and wanting to start recording right when the lockdown happened. So it was just it was good timing and gave me something to be working on and feel like I was doing something. And yeah, it's good timing for me.
Right. I love Redwood. Tell me more about this song.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I love that song too. It's a love song, which I would say is new for me. I had found myself writing more breakup songs than love songs. So this is a really fun experience for me to play songs that feel good in that way. And yeah, there's also just some references to like personal journey. During this time, I sort of realized my like gender identity and non-binary identity, and so there's some references in there. And yeah, I guess it does feel like it reflects the album as a whole in the sense that, you know, Redwood, the title, was just like songs for the trees. I had been spending a lot of time with trees and feeling like, yeah, sitting in forests and just feeling very supported by that. So it seems like it's reflected in there too.
Oh, I love that. And I love that that you've shared this about where you are and your point in this point in time in your life. Now, what is it like staying creative right now?
Yeah, you know, I think a lot of us have felt at time to time some like pressure that we should be creating right now because we're trapped at home and that we should be creating our next big thing. But yeah, I think it along the same lines of where I was coming from in this album is just like, oh, now's a chance to just really like connect with your art and creativity for its own sake. And you don't have to think as much about what it's going to be or how it's going to be received, or, you know. So I've been doing some song groups, virtual song groups, and teaching a little bit of songwriting, and just staying really in touch with that. That's helped me.
Oh, I love that. Well, it's great to catch up, and thank you so much.
Thank you. It's great to see you.
So I love the mix of artists this month because it's artists that we've been hearing for a few years now in some cases, and then it's a lot of people that are, for example, releasing their debut singles and debut releases this year, which is also really exciting because it's fresh blood. It's people that we're just getting to know. Rossini is another example of that.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
Good.
Good, Rossini. So I'm really interested in this time you spent in Paris because you're a native of Florida. You sort of bounced around a little bit, but you spent 3 years in Paris. Was that a classical performance thing you were studying then, or?
I went there to study, classical performance and music. And the language. So I spent 3 years learning the culture, the language, and learning music as well over there.
What did you take away from that, do you think? Is like that you still, that you've moved on with in your music?
I guess the sound, just so universal, just the sound, the culture, I took away a lot. It's just a big part of me, I guess. I can't really pinpoint it. Yeah.
Right. Well, you've just released your second single at the end of October. It's called Heartbreaker. We're playing the debut single that came out a bit earlier this year, Party People, which, when dance floors are a thing again, you just got to wait because that's bound to be filling dance floors. I mean, that's destined for it. I hear it.
I can't wait.
Tell us a little bit about Party People.
Well, I live in downtown Denver, and the displaced population in Denver is 31,000. So it was on my heart just seeing, like, I have a home, and I'm looking outside my window and seeing a large homeless population. So I felt, walking to work or walking to go eat, and I felt, I guess, emotional by it. So I felt like I had to do something, in what better way than speak about it through my art.
Yeah.
So Party People is basically, instead of let's stop calling them homeless or giving them a negative notion, just help them out a little bit. Just be a little sensible.
Well, and it's such an uplifting chorus too. I believe is the refrain "Dying to Live."
This basically 2020. I guess we're all dying to live. I guess we're all affected by it worldwide. Even you speak on Paris. My friends from Paris, they were in lockdown before us, so I seen them going through that. And everybody's just dying to live, even now.
So it sounds like you've taken a lot of inspiration from the way things are in 2020, maybe making the best of it in any case. How are you staying creative during quarantine?
Stuff like this, I feel like even though we're not able to network with each other, online has done a great community with like Zoom, live performances online, you know, just being home and just saying, I'm going to do it. Not just, you know.
Yeah, you mentioned, or you just released Heartbreaker at the end of last month. What's coming up next for you? What can we expect in the future?
So I just collaborated again with Jesse O'Brien over at Colorado Sounds, which is an amazing facility in Westminster. So we just recorded this past Saturday. We walked in the studio at 9 a.m. and by the time I left at 5 p.m., the world changed again. So I'll probably be releasing within a month.
Very good, very good. And of course, the biggest question, the pumpkin pie debate, yay or nay? So
I'm so weird with pumpkin pie. Like I take out all the pumpkin and I use the crust and scoop it. So if the crust is, you know, hard and crispy, it's a yay.
Love it. I love all these nuanced takes on pumpkin pie. I knew it was going to be a complex issue, Alicia.
Well, when you wrote me about it, Jeremy, because I didn't know where you were going with this, but I said, you know, I like my pumpkin pie a little bit warm with some cold whipped cream on it and like a good, like, yeah, naughty crust for sure. Like how Sidney mentioned that, like a nice fatty crust.
Thanks for being here, Rossini.
Well, thank you guys again, you, Jeremy, and Alicia, for like playing my song. It means the world to me.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Definitely. Super cool to meet you. And up next, we're going to be chatting with John Lensing. Hi, John.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Where are you at right now?
I am in Portland, Oregon, on a week layover. I've been in Alaska, Sitka, Alaska, and I'm heading back to Denver for the winter now.
Now, do I understand you went there to help out with the election in some way?
Yeah, I was volunteering with Senate candidate Al Gross, trying to flip the Senate there. So eventually they needed someone to fly out that was willing to do it in 2 days. And I figured I'd never been to Alaska, so why not? I needed some work. So it was a lovely opportunity and just beautiful getting to humanize the whole thing and just talk with people all day.
Did it turn out how you wanted it to?
I don't know. It's election wise, it's going to take like another week because they have to fly in all the ballots from all the remote islands. But I mean, experience wise, yes, I got to have a lot of beautiful conversations with people about just healthcare and mental health care and what they need to not just live, but thrive. It was, yeah.
And you were saying that you've had these lovely conversations. Is that motivating you creatively, like in an artistic sort of musical way?
It's getting there. It's been a hard year for songwriting for me. So I usually just try to find ways to lean into helping people in other ways because I've gone through this before. And I think I have a lot more ideas now that I can try to figure out how to put into songs now.
Well, talk to me about your song "Talk to Me" that we've been playing this month. Did that take a while to put together for you?
Yeah, it did. I spent a lot of my time. I was in Denver for a couple of years. When I first moved to Denver, I didn't really know how to learn and how to be a musician, so I started street performing to try to figure out what was good and what connected with people. And it's always been kind of centered on that. So a lot of that song is my first song that I finally found a producer that I love in Brooklyn, and the first song that I really have put the thought and attention into that I have been trying to figure out how to do with my music. So it's one that I'm very proud of that took a couple of years of just traveling around and talking to people and learning how to make a song into a piece of art.
I like the multi-collage sounds on it. Like I have my iPhone, and so whenever I'm playing it on the radio and the little like alarm sounds start going off on it, I'm like, how many people are hearing this now thinking, is that my phone going off? Because it tricked me my first time.
It went off accidentally when we were recording one day, and we're like, that's actually in the key of the song. I grew up outside Minneapolis on a lot of hip hop. So like I love folk music dearly, but also I'm bored by it at times. And I'm like, hip hop is folk music. Like we can sample things and you can like have fun with it in a lot of different ways. And yeah, we were having a lot of fun with it, just recording noises with it.
Nice. Well, we love this song, and thanks so much for taking some time to join us during the virtual meetup.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Oh, we already talked about pumpkin pie. Yes,
I'm a staunch advocate. It's classic. I don't know. I eat it every year. I'm disgusted by pumpkins, but I love pumpkin pie.
Mm-hmm. Do you like whipped cream on it then?
Whipped cream, ice cream. It needs a little bit of everything. You mix everything together for Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hot take, love it. And thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Well, this is the local 303 meetup. It's sponsored by Elevated Independent Energy. If you're a Colorado artist, you want us to listen to your music, make sure to send it to me on our website. Click the Submit Your Music tab at indie1023.org. And Jeremy, we have now arrived at our first performance after your chat.
Just a couple minutes away from hearing from ZEMBU, who is based in Fort Collins. I'm interested in your story, though. You're a Seattle native. You're in Fort Collins now. Your debut EP out a bit earlier this year. The quick version. How you got where you are right now?
Yeah, totally. Hi everyone. Happy to be here. Quick version. Okay, yeah, I grew up in Seattle and I moved out to Colorado for love with my partner. Well, she was already here actually in Durango, Colorado, and we did a year of long distance, and after that year we were ready to be together, so I moved out to Durango and we lived there for 2 years. And then a year ago, we moved up here, and she's at the CSU social work program, getting her master's in social work. And then Colton and I met at KRFC FM here in Fort Collins, and we're both on the, we still are. Pre-COVID, we were on the Live at Lunch team. It's their live in studio performances. Yeah, we both were doing the live sound, and Colton was already there, and yeah, we just connected right away and jammed a little bit. And at that point with ZEMBU, I had started ZEMBU last year, like early last year, and I wasn't really translating it into a live setting yet. So with Colton, we started translating it into a live setting.
Well, have you been able to play much live? I mean, since the EP came out, it came out in March, so the timing wasn't exactly great. But I mean, has there been opportunities for you?
Yeah, we played a few small shows, but yeah, nothing. We were actually like totally ready, about to start, had a bunch of shows booked, as all the artists did. But yeah, we were just about to in March to start playing shows, but we've played a couple of small kind of intimate backyard sort of shows.
Well, Recall is the title of the debut EP. We're playing Human and Overgrown, a couple of songs. Will you talk about Human a little bit as far as just what went into creating it?
Yeah. Human is super near and dear to my heart. It's about the day that my mom died by suicide, and it was just the process of that song was just really healing for me. I have kind of a long relationship with music, but I didn't really start kind of thinking of myself as an artist and exploring music as like a musician until a few years ago. And yeah, writing that song was just a really important way for me to heal through that trauma. My mom was a musician, and So, yeah.
Oh, it is a beautiful song. I don't know what you're going to be getting to here today, but I'm ready to hear it. If you want to introduce the song you're going to play.
Yeah, we're going to play Overgrown, actually. Switch it up.
Very good.
Cool. All right. Let's do it. Blank space filled with ideal breaks, drab eyes of conservative legs. Oh yeah, hold tight hand, push away the covers. Almost lost my feet when the ground came under me. When the ground came under me. When the ground came under me. It's all overgrown now. It's all overgrown. It's all overgrown now. It's all overgrown. Yeah. Come back closer home, find your way. It's all overgrown. Come back closer home, find your way. It's all overgrown. Highway footsteps remind me. I see where it's all from. The cards to this earth fade. Yeah, I'm more than when I left, holding on to what gives race turquoise corner. Your smoke spills out of the room, out of the room, out of the room, out of the room. It's all overgrown now. It's all overgrown. It's all overgrown now. It's all overgrown. Yeah. Come back closer home, find your way. It's all overgrown. Come back closer home, find your way. It's all overgrown. You're walking to the comfort, knowing that she holds you, knowing that she holds you. You're walking to the comfort, knowing that she holds you, knowing that she holds you. It's all overgrown now. It's all overgrown. It's all overgrown now. It's all overgrown. Yeah. Come back close home, find your way. It's all overgrown. Come back close home, find your way. It's all overgrown. It's all overgrown. It's all overgrown. It's all overgrown. Yeah. It's all overgrown. 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 back close home, find your way. It's all over, go. Come back close home, find your way. It's all over, go.
Overgrown. That's a song you'll be hearing on our airwaves all month long from ZEMBU. Sarah and Colton, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Before I let you go, I got to hear about pumpkin pie, yay or nay?
For me, yay. Yeah.
Absolutely not. I haven't touched pumpkin pie in probably 10 years. Sorry, everybody.
There's my guy. That's Colton. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
I just got a text message, Jeremy, from our social media gal who's watching on YouTube, and she says it's been a very, people have feelings about pumpkin pie over in the chat.
I am not surprised. Not at all.
You're not surprised. Anyways, beautiful performance. Thank you, ZEMBU. And we are continuing on with the local 303 meetup. Up next, we're going to chat with Sarah Angela from Lip Truce. Hi, Sarah.
Hey girl, how you doing?
Good. It's been a while since I've seen you.
Yes, a hard minute. 2020, you know.
Where are you driving to, if you don't mind me asking?
There's a really special birthday today, so we're going to do some fondue and champagne and things like that.
Is it your birthday?
It's not. It's my partner's mother.
Oh, happy birthday to her.
Yes,
Lovely.
so I'll give her a shout out. Happy birthday, Celia.
Yeah. Oh, it's been about a year since you dropped the debut self-titled record. Look back, reflect with me for a year.
1 year, and yet only 3 months before COVID news started surfacing in the United States. And so, yeah, it's been a wild year. Very different than how I saw it at this time last year. But, you know, yeah, that's everybody's story.
Yeah, right. Are you staying creative with the band during quarantine? Are you guys up to much?
You know, we've had 2 shows during the entire time. I have been having to seek other ways to really get creative. On a personal basis, I've been learning how to record myself finally, which has been really nice, and educating myself, you know, learning about, you know, sync licensing and things like that, because, you know, what else can I do? I can write and create, and we can play a couple shows here and there. But yeah, until the day comes again when we can hit the road.
Yeah. What was it like? You did a show at Larimer Lounge, right? I haven't actually been out to see any live music.
Yeah, we did a show at Larimer
weird?
Lounge. It was and it wasn't. I don't know if the service is good since I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, but yeah, so Larimer Lounge was the first one, and we did a double show one night. And it was amazing for me. It just felt so good to perform again. And there were about 40 people per set, and it was awesome, but very strange as far as, you know, not a whole lot of, I mean, it was lovely in the sense that it felt unplugged, even though it wasn't, because people could really listen. Kind of like so far shows, really, but with our full band. And then we did it again at the Oriental, and that was pretty wonderful, being able to be on that big stage with all those lights. And, you know, I love supporting the Oriental anyway, so it was great.
Are you watching or listening to anything right now that you want to recommend?
Oh my gosh. I've kind of become a victim of listening to every podcast imaginable over this year.
Like all the true crime ones?
I mean, I'm just about to start listening to Criminal, which I've heard is really good, but I've gotten into some weird stuff. You know, starting with things like S-Town, and then I loved the Dolly one. That was great. And then I moved on to some really wild ones that I probably shouldn't even mention. So
I gotcha. What's your hot take on pumpkin pie?
Oh, girl. I'm a pie person. I love the crust. I love blackberry pie, and I can get down with some pumpkin pie, but it's not my fave.
But you don't discriminate against pies.
I don't. I'm kind of right there. I want homemade whipped cream though.
Yeah, I love homemade whipped cream. What's in the near future for you?
It just I was honestly planning my escape route. I hate to admit that, but we've all been going through so much. I know that I'm not alone in the uncertainty of what was going to happen. And now I feel like there's hope. So I'm not really sure. I just know that I'm going to keep creating. There's so much inspiration out there, people that have really come together to create some beautiful stuff lately. And through all this darkness, there's been so much good happening. And I guess the next thing musically that will be released is I recorded a song with an artist in North Carolina. And it's called Living Proof. And it's about the Black Lives Matter movement and just awareness coming to those who have lived this life of, being lucky enough to not live in fear, and how we can all change this now.
Well, watch out for that. Make sure to send it to me, and great to catch up with you. Enjoy your birthday party tonight.
Good to see you.
Yeah, take care. It's the local 303 meetup. Stick around. Heavy Diamond Ring will be performing. We're going to talk with Daphna and Fern Roberts, and Jeremy, you have Goslings up next.
Yes, the Denver band Goslings. It's Patrick and Matthew joining us. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Nice to see you. We've never met before, but I've been playing your music for a while on the radio for a couple of years. Troubled was the debut that came out back in 2018. First of all, how are you guys? How you holding up?
We're doing good. Yeah,
we're having the time of our life today.
Today we're having the time of our life, and we're doing really well with this pandemic. We're keeping it really well together and keeping the creativity going.
Well, you've managed to release a single this year, which is everything. Actually, in 2020. 2 singles.
We just got one out the other day.
Okay, so yep, there's your update. What can you tell us about AL Artificial Love? That was the first of the 2.
Yeah, it was. I kind of get a little bit worked up about the future sometimes, and the way that we're gonna interact with technology, and the idea of what love will look like in the future, especially with artificial intelligence, and how it might get a little weird. And I wrote a song about it. Like, I think about these things with, like, it might not be in my lifetime, but in my kids' lifetime, they're going to have to make some weird decisions in the future about it. So I kind of wrote a song about it, and yeah,
that's a good one. It's one that you'll hear on our airwaves right now. Maybe it's the logical sequel to the Roxette cover you did a couple years ago. It must have been Love, which I loved. I mean,
yeah,
you hit us with a Roxette cover out of nowhere. I'm your fan.
Yeah, Chad Scoopian, our Suborbital Records producer, he thought that one was going to hit the mark, and I said, "Sounds pretty great."
Yeah. I mean, that was we were thinking about a few different songs, and Chad Scoopian was just like, "Yeah, this Roxette cover, It Must Have Been Love, is it? It's perfect."
I think everybody here knows that song, right?
Yeah.
maybe the youngest among us don't. So you guys had the best quote about what it's like being a musician in 2020. Oddly specific. If you don't mind, I'm just going to read it for everybody here. Okay. Quote: yeah. It's like putting on a soaking wet pair of white tube socks every morning for 8 months straight and being surprised each day, wondering, why are my feet cold?
Yeah. Every day. It's a Groundhog Day, what's going on here?
How can it still be happening?
How can this still be happening? How so we'll cope,
So shot in the dark here, anything that you guys, a lot of people are taking the opportunity during quarantine to learn a new skill or a language or something. Anything like that's cropped up into your guys' lives over the past 9 months?
I don't know if you can tell, but I built this COVID divider between Matthew and I just today.
Yeah.
So that's a brand new skill.
That's amazing.
You really should go over to Costco and get a little bit of saran wrap and just screw it into the ceiling. So
he's really good at doing this stuff.
My wife was really proud of me.
I bet. I bet.
And his 5-year-old children as well.
And I'm loving the background design there too, and the giraffe.
That's his wife, Di. She
loves giraffes.
She loves giraffes, and she loves the flowers as well.
Yeah, so. My daughter decided we needed some security stuffies for the interview. So
the children have a lot of influence on what goes on.
I completely understand. What about the pumpkin pie debate, guys?
I'm gonna go pretty solid thumbs down. It's
all right.
You can make some jokes about pumpkin pie in your shorts. I'm all for that. No. But eating it, I don't.
I'm up. I need it with chocolate ice cream though. I'm big chocolate ice cream with all the pies. You know. One of the things we'd like to just thank a couple of people.
Absolutely.
Elena Mira, she does Myra. She does a lot of the background vocals, and also Dennis Lugo. He does all the drumming and stuff, as well as Chad Scoopian. So we're a collective of people, you know. It's not just us two.
Listen for Goslings all November long on Indie 102.3. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks
for your time.
Yeah, thank you guys. Up next we have Daphna. I'm saying that correct, right?
It's Daphna, but really close.
Daphna. Oh, where does that name come from?
Both my parents are Israeli, so it's an Israeli name.
Daphna, I love that. It's so cool to meet you.
You too.
So by day, you're a student at CU, and then otherwise you've dedicated yourself to making music, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Also, kind of by night, I'm still a student because of homework, but music's somewhere in there too.
You're an electrical engineering student?
Yeah.
And what is a typical day like for you? It sounds like school in the morning, maybe be creative, then do homework.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of school, labs, homework, and then at night after I'm done with all that stuff, I like to record and write some music.
Have you been able to stay creative during this time?
Yeah, like all of my music was already kind of done just alone at home in my bedroom, like with my laptop. So not much really has changed creativity wise. I just like kind of keep doing that.
Mm-hmm. You get over 35,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. How does that feel? Not too shabby for a college student.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty cool. I mean, like it doesn't really affect my daily life, but it's a cool number to look at. So
yeah. Is it that point? Do you make any money at that point at all, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I get it's definitely not something to live off of, but it's like around $70 a month, which is like a good like supplementary. I can buy myself a nice lunch every now and then.
Yeah, right. Your single, one of the songs that we've been playing is Let You Go, and it has over 197,000 streams on Spotify. This is obviously a song that people are paying attention to. Tell me about writing that one.
Yeah, so that one I wrote, I think December of last year, and it was after this boy who I had been crushing on for a while. I like finally like told him how I felt, and he just didn't feel the same way, which was okay. But I was like, that doesn't mean I should stop liking him. I can just keep doing it and maybe he'll change his mind. But clearly it doesn't work like that. But the song was pretty much like, why should I let you go? That was the main line.
Did he know that you wrote a song about him?
I think so. I wrote a couple songs about him, and one time we were recording, he actually recorded bass on one of the songs, and he was like, is this about me? And I was like, yes, it is. But yeah, I think it was fine. It's not the end of the world.
Right. You got plenty of time. So what have you been doing besides school, besides music? Any cool shows that you've been watching or podcasts that you've been loving, books that you've been reading?
Well, I've been working on making a video game, which has been taking up also a good amount of my time. Just like, it's like based off of the themes of my album. So it's just a lot of drawing and programming, which has been fun.
When do you think we'll be able to see that?
I'm trying to get it done by December. So hopefully by then.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to check that out. Is it just like a side scrolling sort of thing, or just like click around on a site?
Yeah, it's like a 8-bit like side scroller on mobile video game. So you just like run and jump type platform game. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. All right, what's your pumpkin pie stance?
If I am able to put like copious amounts of whipped cream, then it's a yes. Otherwise, I won't touch it. Yeah.
Is it something that's around the table Thanksgiving time with your family?
We don't really celebrate Thanksgiving, so it's rarely there. But sometimes, if I happen to lay my hands on it, I do eat it.
Well, hey, it's cool to meet you, Daphna, and thank you so much for sharing your music with us, and thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So here I am. I had a little unmuting problem. That tends to happen with these. Fern Roberts, that's part of the new blood this month. Todd Spriggs, he's the lone representative of Fern Roberts here today. You're the drummer, is that right? No.
Hold on. I'm the bass player.
You're the bass player. Having a little bit of trouble hearing you, but while you get that fixed, so you're the bass player, Todd Spriggs, along with Joshua Tryon and Amos Chase. That's the trio. Can you up your volume just a little bit? In the meantime, this is an interesting story because you guys actually formed, I think, early in 2020. You played a couple shows in February, and then the pandemic hit. And it was like, that was it as far as live music for you guys went, which is a pretty familiar story this year, but you still managed to get out the full-length debut. Meet Them at the Door came out back in October, last month, actually, didn't it?
Yeah, it happened really fast. About a year ago, I quit the band I was in, wanted something new, met Josh. He's pretty new to Denver, but hadn't been in a band before. So I really loved the demos he had, and we immediately started working. And funny enough, we met the drummer through Josh's girlfriend and Amos's girlfriend. They knew each other, and so we had a drummer in January, and mid-February we played a show at Lost Lake with Plastic Daggers and Serpent Foot. It was an amazing first show. Everything was happening so fast and clicking so fast, and we did another show at Mutiny with that Tom Murphy, local legend Tom Murphy, put together, and next thing you know, COVID paused everything, and that fast clicking machine suddenly came to a stop for a bit. But yeah, we found some time after some lockdown time and went up to Evergroup Studios, recorded the album with Brad Smalling. And so, yeah, here we are. Thank you so much for playing our songs.
That's a really fantastic debut. Meet Them at the Door. We've been hearing the single Better, which is so uplifting, I feel like. I mean, the first line, it can't get any worse. It's getting better all the time. So onward and upwards as we move into the future in 2021. Having a little bit of trouble hearing you. So I want to say thanks, though, for being here, Todd.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And we're going to close it out. Heavy Diamond Ring, Alicia.
Oh, yes. Hey, guys.
One more thing, actually. Todd, just a thumbs up or thumbs down on pumpkin pie?
Maybe once during Thanksgiving, but I'm with you. Key lime pie.
Okay. Sorry, had to get that in.
That's a total Jeremy thing, key lime pie. Heavy Diamond Ring. Hey, guys. Hey. I'm going to pop this open because you guys have your Drink All Your Wine song, so I thought I'll just pour this. Although I only have a giant glass, so we're doing it this way. I'll keep it classy. I won't drink out of the bottle. Welcome to the local 303 for this month. Longtime friends of Indie 102.3. And it's great to see you. Everybody's here, right?
Yeah.
Sarah, Paul, Blake, Mike, Orion. You're all here.
We kind of thought you were going to be drunk by now.
Yeah. We've been drinking way too much.
Well, the reason I'm not is because on Instagram stories the other day, you guys said, well, maybe we'll just talk about losing our virginity during the interview the whole time. So then I was like,
we're not talking pumpkin pie.
I thought we should keep it PG and talk about pumpkin pie instead. So, hot takes.
All right.
Cheers.
Well, we would all sit in some pumpkin pie.
Yeah. Sounds good.
That's what we're gonna say about pumpkin pie.
So how are you guys staying creative as a band during quarantine? Clearly, you are all part of a quarantine bubble together.
Yeah, that's been really important. That's the only bubble. Being the bubble together has given us enough time to. Can you hear me? Being a bubble, that's how we've made music together. We went up to a cabin in Minnesota and wrote some songs, and we did some recording, just like kind of just us hanging out. Yeah, I mean, because we're not playing shows, it's harder to afford to make recordings. But we've been piecing it together. We've been having fun.
Yeah, and you guys are here in Denver right now. Of all your singles that I've been loving that's been out this year, the "Drank All Your Wine" single was definitely one that I've been bumping a lot. What's the genesis of that song, Sarah? Is that one of yours?
It's actually a melody. So Paul is like the king of guitar, well, writing songs in general, but guitar melodies, and he sent me that melody, and then I just kind of came up with the lyrics and the vocal part.
Mm-hmm.
It was a collaboration between Paul and I, and then we all came together and turned it into the song.
We actually wrote that one. Sarah and I had the idea, and then we were playing this gig maybe like a year and a half ago, and it was outside, and we had to actually play like an extra like hour than we thought we did, and we were like, we don't have an extra hour of material, so we just started playing that song. We're like guys, it kind of goes like this. There's only 2 chords.
I forgot about that.
We'll figure it out, and then we actually haven't really changed it much since then. So it was kind of just like became a song on stage, which is a pretty unique pretty unique process for a song to have come to fruition like that.
Yeah, you guys have also done cover songs. I know, Paul, you've done a ton of cover songs in the past, like releasing just a solo record of that, but you did the cover of Neil Young's Unknown Legend, which you guys know I love. Who chose to do that, or how did that come together?
How did that come together? We just did it for you, Alicia.
I don't remember at all. Yeah,
Sounds right.
I can't remember.
Well, that's okay.
Get a better.
Well, what music are you guys loving now? Anything that you're listening to that's inspiring y'all?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had the Waxahachie record on repeat. I love that most recent record of hers, but what about you guys?
We've been listening to a lot of Bill Evans too.
Yeah.
Bill Evans.
Different styles of
Mm-hmm.
The big favorite for us right now.
Yeah. Well, what are you guys going to play for us today?
We're going to play a brand new song that Paul wrote a long time ago. And this we've come up with maybe how many different versions? Maybe 4 different versions of this song. And then we really recently recorded it in the studio, and it kind of became a completely different version of what it was. So yeah,
Is that what we're gonna hear?
What's that?
And is that what we're gonna hear now? The completely different version?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah. It's always new, you know. With us.
New version. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna plug in this microphone, and then we won't be able to hear you for a second.
Give us a thumbs up if you can hear.
But if you can hear us, then it'll work. Can you hear us? Still hear us?
I gotta hit the microphone. There it is.
I think that.
And we can't hear you guys at all as we do this. So as I mentioned, we're on Zoom. Sometimes things work, sometimes things do not work.
What about now?
We can hear you now. Perfect.
Hey mama, we're doing fine. You got your medicine, I've got mine. Trying to find a new way to shine. Running on empty and running out of time. I wanna go easy, but that's not your style. Last I heard, you were learning to fly, but you know when to let it fall from the sky. Yeah, we all wanna go down to the river. Yeah, we all wanna go down to the river. Yeah, we all wanna go get clean and start a rebellion, join the team, act like we believe that there's some sort of American dream.
So amazing. Thank you so much for performing. Checking to see if you guys are plugged back in. So Heavy Diamond Ring, what are you doing to stay positive right now?
Oh man, this is it?
Yeah, hanging out.
Yeah, drinking wine.
Drinking lots of wine. I've been really into like going down the spiritual wormhole of like deep breathing and all the things. That's what I've
Lots of pumpkin pie.
Lots of pumpkin pie. Haha, Jeremy.
And whatever works.
just trying to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much. And thanks to every single one of our artists for joining us today. And thanks to our sponsor, Elevated Independent Energy. This wouldn't happen without all of us coming together and doing this. And music is so important always and forever, but especially during this time where we can all, where we all may feel isolated at some point. So it was great to connect with everybody. And thank you all so much for your talented music and sharing your stories with us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This has been the November Local 303. I think that's a wrap, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
Yeah. Woo! I love that. You guys, everybody should talk to each other